Welcome back. Meet artist Jeff Long. Some might say his work is for the birds. Literally. The sales of his watercolor series called The Birds of California Beyond Audubon will benefit the nonprofit Earth Island Institute, dedicated to conservation. For more about this collaboration, we welcome artist Jeff Long. Nice to have you here.
Thank you, Susan. Great to be here.
Now, who found whom?
Oh, well, I had this idea that I was going to continue Audubon's project. I would assign myself a little illustration project for the year of continuing his Birds of the West. He started with Birds of America, but he never made it to the West Coast. So I thought I would do that. And then, coincidentally, I happened to meet a board member of Earth Island Institute. And I said, hey, yeah, let's do this as a benefit for Earth Island. So it was a perfect collaboration because it brought in a different kind of audience for my art, which was the environmental organization and the people associated with that. And it was a new body of work for me, very different from my usual abstractions.
Because you have abstract, but I went online to look at some of your work. It's really quite wonderful. And there's the abstract stuff, which is very different. And then there's all these nature things with the birds and some other animals as well.
Yeah, it was like an idea that was in the back of my head for a long time. I wanted to return to drawing, which I'd gotten away from.
Here we go. I love this one with the owl.
And, oh yeah. And it's just great to be back in drawing, and nature has always been a big inspiration for me.
All right, now the sale of these paintings, as you sell them, the proceeds are going to the Earth Island Institute. Is it specified for birds, or is it for the entire institute?
No, it's for the institute, which is a very broad institute. I mean, they do an awful lot. They basically are the seed organization for many other international conservation groups and environmental organizations, including, for instance, the Rainforest Action Network, which is very well known, and many others. Earth Island was founded by David Brower, who's just about the most iconic environmentalist around, and he, was with the Sierra Club and so forth. Earth Island does a great job, and they're really one of my favorite groups. So we did 2 openings this summer to benefit them, and we continue to sell the art for them.
I'm curious, for a painter, do you know I can paint birds if I can paint abstracts, or is it I can paint abstracts, but I'm not sure I can paint birds? I mean, is it kind of a surprise to you as it's happening?
Well, way back when I was in art school, I was a realist. So it was like, learning how to ride the bike and never forgetting how. So it was like getting back to realism.
And when you say a realist, you mean, in other words, you look at something and you paint what you're seeing, right?
Yeah, render it and, photorealistically. But I'd gotten very far away from that because my career just took me in a different direction. So you did have formal training as a painter? Yeah, I went to Rhode Island School of Design and then California College of Arts here in the Bay Area for my MFA.
And when you did your work, I mean, when you're in a school situation, people are going to tell you how good you are compared to other people there. But was there a moment that you looked at your own work and said, I can do this, I can make a living at this, I'm good?
I'm still not sure about making a living part of it.
Well, these days a lot of people are saying that about a lot of things.
Yeah, but my father was an artist, my brother too, and so it was sort of a genetic code, and it was easy to think of myself as an artist. So I started very early, and I just continued without looking back. So other than the family affiliations, who inspires you? Is there one particular artist or painter? Oh, there are so many in so many different realms. Audubon was a big influence. Audubon is still sort of an iconic 19th century American artist who, is a little bit out of the mainstream of art history. He's more of a graphic artist and illustrator more than a painter. And that interests me because it sort of connects to sort of the graphic traditions that you find in Asian art, for instance, as opposed to the heavy oil paint tradition in the West. So Audubon is great because he is both a scientist and an artist, and that interests me because I'm very interested in the subject. But when Jeff Long spends time in the city of San Francisco and can go to any of one of our wonderful museums to take a look at good art, where do you go? Do you go for something that's similar to your work, or do you go to something totally different? All of it. I mean, I love going to the Modern and, of course, any special show that comes along. I think one of the best shows I ever saw was many years ago at the Modern in New York, of Picasso's ceramics. Very far from what I do, but just, it was recognized as really great art. And, I like the watercolorists, too, of the 19th century, like Winslow Homer. and I like a realist like Edward Hopper. But I also have been very much in the thrall for years as an abstract artist with Jasper Johns and people who are much more contemporary.
Do you, I mean, when you're doing a painting, I would think this becomes like your baby, your child almost. It's your creation, right?
Yeah.
And I know you have to, you know, you want to make a living, and when you're professional then, you get to that level, you say, okay, these are for sale. But is it difficult to let it go and wonder, are they going to use this in the back of the sofa because the colors in it go with the sofa, or is it because they're going to share it with people or resell it? Or
things do sell on that basis, and that's part of it. I mean, it's a legitimate thing in art that it's also to enhance the living environment and all that. That's okay, and I love getting them out there in the world. I don't want to sit on a pile of inventory. I want them out in the world.
And quickly, what would you say to young artists who want to start out and make a living painting in the Bay Area?
Probably it would be a very good idea to go to New York, because the art world is still in New York. It's nowhere else but New York. And it's easier to be an artist there because there is the written word that supports art in New York.
And if they can't get to New York, is there some place they can do, or something they can do here?
You can still have a career in art in California and other places, but the written word, you know, I have to emphasize that, is really important. And the written word is really missing on the West Coast.
What do you mean the written word? You mean the critics?
Critics, publications, and just a serious dialogue about visual art.
And what about apprenticeships? Would apprenticeships work? I mean, I can see that almost coming back.
All of that is wonderful for a young artist, to be in touch with an artist in the studio to see how it works on a day-to-day basis, and to also see the business side of it as well.
Okay, JeffLong.com is where you can get more. For more information on Jeff Long and his artwork, you can contact the Toomey Terrell Gallery here in San Francisco at 49 Geary Street, or visit Jeff's website at JeffLong.com, as we said. For more information on the Earth Island Institute, please visit their website at earthisland.org. That's earthisland.org. We leave you now with the music of Eric Comstock and Barbara Fasano, who perform today and tomorrow at San Francisco's Raz Room. I'm Susan Sikora. Thank you for watching.